together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It's I don't want to be an American idiot. I don't want to be an American idiot. So it was a play, and my wife got tickets to it, but I was still having a pretty hard time with my PTSD. So our oldest daughter went in place, and I got the shirt. So, fair enough, right? Right, cool. Besides, I'm a bigger Green Day fan, so my oldest daughter would argue with me on that. So, all right, good morning, everybody. If you're here, please let me know. Please say hi. Hey, Dion. If I say something you like, put up that thumb or heart. If I say something surprising, put up the wow. Make you mad, put up the bad. That's how we work, right? And of course, while I'm talking, if you have anything that you want to say, comment on, please feel free to do so. It's what it's here for. These are only my opinions. This is based on experience, strength, and hope. Okay. And since it's my experience, it's a little limited. So we like to hear from other people. So let's get started. We're going to start with trusted servants. Trusted servants, they are servants. Theirs is sometimes a thankless privilege of doing the group's chores. Page 134 in 12 by 12. Aha. Maybe I should have done this before, huh? Almost there. All right. Said now comes the election, so let's just go to the where does it get its direction? Okay, where does AA get its direction? So tradition 2 is for our group purpose. There's but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscious. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. They do not govern. That's right. We don't boss people around. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Gary. And keep it in mind, even if you're chairing a meeting, your job is to make sure that it's going smoothly. This is not your opportunity to tell your story or to run a therapy session. I have to watch myself on that stuff when I run a meeting. Where does AA get its direction? Who runs it? This too is a puzzler for every friend in New Car. Are you leaving?
Yes.
All right. Love you. Love you. Bye. She hates being on camera.
Love you. Bye.
When told that our society has no president having authority to govern it, no treasurer who can compel the payment of any dues, no board of directors who can cast an erring member into outer darkness, when indeed no AA can give another a directive and enforce obedience. Our friends gasp and exclaim, this simply can't be. There must be an angle somewhere. These practical folk then read tradition 2 and learn that the sole authority in AA is a loving God as he may express himself in the group conscious. They dubiously ask an experienced AA member if this really works. The member saying to all appearances, I like that one. Right? Are they really though? Time will tell. Good morning, honey. Love you, sis. Lord Chris, good to see you, bud. What are these facts of AA life which brought us to this apparently impractical principle? John Doe, a good AA, moves, let us say, to Middleton, USA. Alone now, he reflects he may not be able to stay sober or even alive unless he passes on to other alcoholics what was so freely given to him. He feels a spiritual and ethical compulsion because hundreds may suffering within reach of his help. Then, too, he misses his home group. Sorry about that. I don't think you guys want to hear me coughing. He needs other alcoholics as much as he needs them. He visits preachers, doctors, editor, policemen, and bartenders. And with the result that Middleton now has a group and he is the founder. Remember yesterday I talked about this, how 12-step work has changed. We need to get back to that. Being a founder, he is the first boss. Not for long. Who else could be? Very soon, though, he assumed authority to run everything begins to be shared with the first alcoholics he has helped. At this moment, the benign dictator becomes a chairperson of the committee composed of his friends. These are growing groups' hierarchies of service, self-appointed, of course, because there is no other way. In the matter of months, AA booms in Middleton. If I'm also going to suggest that if you decide to run an AA group, at least go read a beginning how to be a leader, please. Because more times than not, what I found in these groups is people start them and then they think that they control them. Okay, that's why I left my home group. Okay, that's not how it works. Love the home group, but you gotta follow the traditions, man. Or don't do the seventh tradition. See, that was my problem there. They're asking for money, but not following the traditions. But they're big on the seventh tradition. So in Zorba, the Greek, great. Nikos describes, I'm not saying his last name, describes the encounter between his principal character and old man busily at work planting a tree. What is it you are doing? Zorba asks. The old man replies, you can see very well what I'm doing, my son. I'm planting a tree. But why plant a tree? Zorba asks, if you won't be able to see it bear fruit. And the old man answers, my son, live as though I were never going to die. The response brings a faint smile to Zorba's lips. And as he walks away, he exclaims in a note of irony, how strange, I live as though I were going to die tomorrow. As a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, I have found that the third legacy is a fertile soil in which to plant the tree of my sobriety. The fruits I harvest are wonderful, peace, security, understanding, and 24 hours of eternal fulfillment. And with the soundness of mind to listen to my voice of conscious, when in silence, it gently speaks to me saying, you must go there, you must let go in service. There are others who must plant and harvest. Yes, okay. So, yeah, that's it. All right, there it is. I don't have to cover it. Thank you. So, you got to lead by example. You have to be that, you got to be that person that other people want to be. Does that make sense? That's the trick. If you want to be the person what other people want, then you got to get it first. So you can't transmit something that you don't have, right? So you got to go get it. And that's where the hard work comes in. Total 100% honesty with yourself. It's a bitch. I'm going to tell you, it works. And it's probably one of the most freeing things I have found. All right. Let's get to humility. Why is it I'd much rather talk about humility than trusted service? I don't know. What is the definition of humility? Absolute humility, said the AA co-founder Bill W., would consist of a state of complete freedom from myself, freedom from all the claims that my defects of character now lay so heavily upon me. Perfect humility would be a full willingness in all times and places to find and do the will of God. Am I striving for humility? How much time we got? We got 5 minutes. All right. 62, page 62. I think page 62. Funny, open right to it. Selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. Driven by 100 forms of fear. Should we just put it right there, right? Doesn't it always seem to come down to fear? It does for me. Fear that I'm going to not get what I want or lose something that I hold dearly. One of those two things. But when I was going through this step, the third step, what they were talking about was my anger, my frustration, my despair, that stuff, my trauma. That's what they're talking about here in the beginning. So what are those? Well, I'm going to later find out that those are my character defects. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, self-pity. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Period. I don't see anywhere it says it happens to some people. No. That's what we do. Sometimes they hurt us seemingly without provocation. Here's the big one. But we invariably find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self, which later places us in a position to be hurt. That has got to be the biggest, hardest pill to swallow. And I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes people hurt us. Sometimes they hurt us deeply. Sometimes it's right? And we all know that feeling. You know what I'm talking about. Because I usually don't get into specifics, but I am a little bit here, okay? I'm not going to get into a specific, but I'm saying there's times when that's happened, right? So it's kind of hard to go back on that and say, well, what did I do to place myself in a position to be hurt? Okay, but if you can answer that question, I promise you're going to be able to move on. You're going to be able to take that and move on, right? There you go. Helping other people. So our troubles, we think of our own making. Yeah. So all the good things that happen to you are also of your making. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. Above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us. God makes that possible, and there often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without his aid. Many of us had moral and philosophical convictions galore, but we could not live up to them, even though we would have liked to. Neither could we reduce our self-centeredness much by wishing or trying on our own power. We had to have God's help. This is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. It didn't work. Do you see suggestion in there? I do not. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, God was going to be the director. Okay? He is the principal. We are his agents. He is the father, and we are his children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arc through which we pass to freedom. A promise. There's a promise right there. That if you do that, if you decide that God is now going to be the director, then what's going to happen is you are going to pass through an arc to freedom. There's a promise right there. They're all over the book. Each step has a promise with it. You just got to find it. May God expand my interpretation of humility beyond subservience or awe at the greatness of others. Man, that person is just wow. No. God is just wow. Right? We don't put anybody above us, and we don't put them below us. No. No. We especially do not compare our sobriety to other people's sobriety. It's your sobriety. Your sobriety is a culmination of probably 50 different people. Trust me, it is personal to you. It is. That's why your story is unique, and that's why it matters. Every story matters. I'm telling you. I don't care if you come on for 10 minutes. It matters. My humility also means freedom from myself, a freedom which can only come through turning my being over to God's will. May I sense the omnipotence of God, which is simultaneously humbling and exhilarating. May I be willing to carry out God's will. Today I remember humility is freedom. All right. Getting better hitting that 15-minute mark, man. All right, guys. I've got a list of things I got to do. I am so stoked, excited, happy. I haven't been this excited in probably over 30 years. I know. Don't I just look full of excitement? I am. So watch what happens this week. Watch what happens. Peace out. Thank you guys for being here. Chris, Jill, Gary, Sherry. Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, let's keep plugging away. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day.